What is up, guys? RSC6414 here, back with another video. This time I'm doing a Battleground recap. If you're wondering, I don't wear hats generally, but I'm wearing the R-Truth Little Jimmy hat. Why? Because I felt like it and wanted to cheer for R-Truth, so I wore it. Now back to Battleground. The show overall, like I said, I wasn't expecting too much going in. The show delivered above expectations a little bit for the first 6 matches. Then the last 2 matches completely crushed my hopes and made me sort of frustrated because I was just a little angry, you know. It was alright, like I said, the action was good. We first have Damien Sandow versus Dolph Ziggler for the pre-show. And basically what happens is Dolph Ziggler, Damien Sandow hits his elbow to Stain, does all that stuff. Then Damien Sandow gets hurt in the middle of the match. We find out later on in the night that he does. Dolph Ziggler, Damien Sandow's about to go for a move. Dolph Ziggler counters, hits the zigzag on Damien Sandow. He hit the Famouser earlier on the match. Sandow kicked out at 2.5. So a solid match for the pre-show as expected. Ziggler wins. You could have gone either way. I picked Ziggler to win. Thought he would because they've been burying Sandow as of late since he won the briefcase. So whatever. First match of the night, RVD versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Hardcore rules match. Another good, solid match, you know. Back and forth action. There was no tables involved. It was mostly just trash cans and chairs more than anything. Chairs. A couple times trash can. There was a ladder that RVD was on, kind of up against, leaning up. It wasn't fully out. It was sort of like flat, leaning up against the ropes. Del Rio hits an enziguri on RVD in the back of the head. That stood out at one point. Then towards the end of the match, we have RVD hit a splash off the ring apron onto Del Rio. That was a pretty cool spot, I have to say, even though I was going for Del Rio. Then we have, towards the end, we have a chair. Del Rio sets it up. RVD runs at him. Del Rio counters with the toe hold, slams RVD right into the chair. Then Del Rio puts RVD's arm in the chair, kind of slams, steps on it a couple times, and then puts RVD in a cross arm breaker with RVD's arm through the chair. So he's got him in a cross arm breaker while RVD's arm is in the chair. RVD has to tap, so Del Rio retains via submission when he makes RVD tap, like I said, when his arm's stuck in the chair. So that's basically how it ends. Makes sense. Good ending. No problem with the match. I have to say this match was decent. No complaints. I like Del Rio. I'm glad he retained. I know a lot of people hate him as champ, but I like the guy, so I'm happy, and that's all I got to say. The stars for this match, I'll give it a solid 3 out of 5. And then the Damien Sandow Ziggler match, I forgot to give a rating for that. I'll give it a 2.75 out of 5 for that one. Then we've got our second match, which is set up by Zeb Coulter and the Real Americans talking backstage about illegal immigrants, and Khali and Santino Marella and Khali going up against the Real Americans next match, sort of like a filler that they just threw on the card without announcing it. And that match happened right after Del Rio RVD. Worst match of the night except for the ending. I'm really not going to get to too much in the middle. Basically, Cesaro swings Khali around the ring like literally 11 times and then pins Khali for the 1-2-3. Real Americans win. That was a cool moment, cool spot at the end. The Cesaro swings are always cool, and this one was cool because it was Khali. Was it pay-per-view worthy? No, I'd say it was main event worthy, WWE main event. It's basically a match they just threw together. It didn't make much sense. I don't know why they put that on the pay-per-view. They could have given more time for other matches. Why they did this, I'll never know. But the winner, Real Americans, my rating, 1.5 out of 5 stars. Not a good match. Pretty bad if you ask me. Then we have the next match of the night, which is I'm pretty sure it was either R-Truth or, yeah, it was R-Truth versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental Championship. Wearing my Truth hat. I figured Axel was going to win coming in. This match was sort of like Sandow Ziggler. Sandow Ziggler was even a little better than this. This match wasn't very good, to be honest. It didn't give much time. They kind of put Truths on the Hell in a Cell poster, so I kind of see this feud carrying out and seeing us get a rematch at Hell in a Cell for the Intercontinental Championship. By the way, Curtis Axel retains via the Hangman's Facebuster. Truth at one point got some offense in, hit a sit-out facebuster on Axel for the near fall. He went for the scissor kick a couple times, missed, and basically what happens is Axel counters and gets some offense in, hits a Hangman's facebuster, retains, and you may be wondering why I'm wearing this R-Truth hat even though he lost. Because I like R-Truth, he's one of my favorites, and I figured I'd wear it. What the heck. So Curtis Axel wins. My rating for this, not a very good. 2.5 out of 5. Just a mediocre kind of whatever match. 2.5 out of 5 stars is what I give that one. Then we have AJ Lee versus Brie Bella for the Divas Championship. That was the match right after. This match was okay. I mean, for Divas quality, I mean, no offense to them, but the matches aren't necessarily 5-star matches, as most of you know. I know it, and everybody knows it. They don't get much time, and this match was just whatever, you know. I mean, the feud made sense somewhat. Total Divas versus AJ is basically what it's come to nowadays in the Divas division. Basically what happens is Tamina, obviously you know, if you don't, Tamina Snuka is AJ's bodyguard now. So Tamina has Nikki Bella, Brie's sister, who accompanied her ringside. Tamina has Nikki in a headlock. Brie gets distracted and wants to come help her sister. But while she's distracted, AJ rolls Brie up, pins her for the 1-2-3. AJ retains the Divas title. Another whatever match. Nothing great. I'd say it was probably the second worst match of the night behind the Real Americans versus Santino and Khali. So whatever. 2 stars out of 5 is what I give it. I really could give it a 1 3/4, but I'm going to give it a 2. So 2 out of 5. Not an awful match, but it just wasn't great either. So AJ retains. I'm glad she retains. I think it makes sense. I didn't really want Brie to win, to be honest. So AJ wins in a whatever match again. 2 out of 5. A lot of the matches at the beginning were whatever matches. Then right after that, we transition into a big match. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust in a non-title match. I mean, wow. This was the best match of the night. I thought it'd steal the show. It did. Great match. Can't say enough about it. Basically, the stipulation coming in, if you didn't know, if Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins win, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, Cody Rhodes will never get hired by WWE again. Goldust didn't have a contract currently. He won't ever get hired by WWE again, and then Dusty Rhodes will be fired from his developmental contract as the GM of NXT, which he's no longer anyway, because JBL is. But that was the stipulation heading in. Basically, they'd all get fired and never be able to come back to WWE, to put it in simpler terms, if Reigns and Rollins win. So, good match, back and forth.